What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of the League Podcast. I'm your host, Sal.
And Dion.
And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, welcome back to the first episode. So today what we're going to be doing is giving you guys the draft grades for the board for the draft. Dion's going to do the first six drafters, and then I'm going to follow up and do the next six. And then we're going to get together and then combine them and see what we could do with power rankings with them. So without further ado, take it away, Dion.
All right. So I'll be evaluating the first drafter, which is our former two-time champion, Tito. What I liked about his team is running backs and overall starters. So the running backs, he has Christian McCaffrey and Devon Achane, which are some phenomenal starters, capable of having some week-winning games. For his starters, he's got C.J. Stroud, pretty good quarterback. Hopefully, he's able to repeat or even go above what he had last season. Wide receivers, it's Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, and Terry McLaurin. The only thing I didn't like about his team is his tight ends, which is David Njoku and Dallas Goddard. We don't really know how well David Njoku is going to play with Deshaun Watson. And then Dallas Goedert's in a team with the Philadelphia Eagles having so many mouths to feed. We'll see how that goes. Then we're moving on to our next drafter. It's Freddie, number 2 draft. His team I really liked a lot. He's got a phenomenal quarterback in Jalen Hurts. His running backs are Deshaun Robinson and Ramondre Stevenson. While his bench also has some capable players that we're hoping, put up some good numbers in Jonathan Brooks and Marshawn Lloyd. His wide receivers I really like with Deebo Samuel, a personal favorite of mine, and then Rashee Rice, the up and coming star. The only thing I didn't like about Freddie's is just a little bit of his bench. He has a lot of rookies there, so we don't know how that's going to pan out. And then he also has Jordan Addison, which is a big old question mark. You got the questions on Sam Darnold, seeing how the rapport is with that, and seeing if he's actually a capable quarterback to run an offense as good as the Minnesota Vikings. So, my next drafter after that is Rigo. For his strengths, I put wide receiver and bench. With names like Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson, and DJ Moore, those are some really great starters in wide receiver. With his backups being Cortland Sutton and DeAndre Hopkins are also pretty solid. Weaknesses for Rigo, I got to give him quarterback, running back, and tight end. Quarterback, I know you guys are probably going to hate me for this. Caleb Williams, still don't know, how is it going to be? Are the Bears actually going to, take a step up? Running backs, he's got David Montgomery, which shares backfield with Jahmyr Gibbs. It's going to be a little bit questionable who's going to get the good game on those. And then tight end is Cole Kmet, which it's another question mark in the Bears offense. We'll see how that goes moving forward. And then he's got a lot of Bears players as well, so that's also kind of hinders him a little bit. Now, next person we're going to move on to is Stacy. Now, Stacy, I really liked her quarterbacks and wide receivers. So she's got Josh Allen as quarterback, that's the number 2 quarterback in all fantasy. So
Number 1.
Pretty solid pick. And then wide receivers, really like his wide receivers. She's got CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, and then I actually like Romeo Dobbs this season. I think he's going to do some pretty good things. I know that offense is pretty random right now because got so many names and who's going to be the wide receiver 1 there. Jahan Dotson, though, probably not so much and stuff. He moved over to Philadelphia. You got, like I said, with Dallas Goddard and stuff, a lot of mouths to feed. For her weaknesses, I put running back, tight end, and part of her bench. Running back, she's got Zamir White and Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert's good running back, but Zamir White, I don't know how that offense is going to function with Gardner Minshew. And then for also running backs, she's got Tyler Algier and Tajay Spears, which they're you got Tyler in Atlanta. We'll see how that goes. I mean, doesn't have Arthur Smith anymore, so he might not get the carries that he used to. And then Tajay Spears with Tony Pollard being there, we'll see how that moves forward. Then my next drafter is Sal. For Sal, I put strengths. I got running back and tight end. Running back has got Jameer Gibbs and Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor was a personal favorite of mine. Helped me win fantasy championship.
Oh yeah.
And Jameer Gibbs he's a really good player. I had him in a couple of leagues and helped me win. I think a championship in another league too.
Ooh.
Um, then he's got Javonte Williams, which I'm hoping he steps up this season. Gus Edwards, he's running in a run heavy offense. Jalen Wright, we'll see how that goes. And we got so many mouths in Miami, and then Jordan Mason's also a good backup for Christian McCaffrey. You just never know what happens in San Francisco. So for tight end, Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is what, number 3 overall, like tight end. So we should continue seeing that type of work. Now for his weaknesses, I didn't really like his quarterback or wide receivers. Quarterback Jared Goff, but then again, you got that quarterback really late, so it's not that bad of a pickup. But compared to the other quarterbacks, I don't know. Probably want to look somewhere else. and then wide receivers, I don't know how I feel about Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, he's getting up there in age, and then just the whole overall like Raiders offense. George Pickens. George Pickens is Pittsburgh Steelers and stuff, and we don't know how that offense is going to go. And then we,
Nice.
that's coming from me, so uh,
Not biased.
yeah, not biased. Calvin Ridley, I do like Calvin Ridley. And then he also has Roma Dunze, which is another big old question mark in the Bears offense. After that, my final drafter to discuss is my brother John. For him, the only thing I really liked a lot is Travis Kelsey. And then Jamar Chase is also a really good player, but this whole like situation right now with the contract and sitting out, it just doesn't look great. Uh, his other weaknesses he's got is just overall starters. You got the starting quarterback being Jordan Love. We'll see if he repeats what he did last season. Um, then we got James Cook and DeAndre Swift. James Cook I actually do like, but DeAndre Swift, like I said, it's just we'll see how the Bears offense goes moving forward. Um, then he's got Stephon Diggs as his wide receiver too, which I don't know, man. I heard a lot of things about him being a bust this season. So,
He's a cancer.
um, yeah, and yeah, he's pretty much a diva on the field. So, yeah, so that's pretty much it on these drafters.
Nice. I got the perfect transition because I know another diva, and his name is Manny. I'm just kidding. I got to break down Manny's draft team, right? And I graded him actually as above average. I know there a lot of people were hating on him because he's the champ,
Right.
Congratulations on last year's championship. This year you have, I think, an above average team. I kind of like it. I think he has one of the strongest bench, if not the strongest in the whole league. I'm gonna start with the bench, right? Because that's his strength. Bro pulled Brian Robinson, Tony Pollard. I don't know about J.K. Diamonds, but Deontay Johnson and Joshua Palmer, I look forward to them. Like they're like old veterans, or I don't know about Joshua Palmer. He's just been with the team a little bit longer, but they're gonna be
Yeah, he
relied
knows the system.
on their offense. They're gonna be relied on. Let's talk about his running backs, Kenneth Walker and Joe Mixon. They're kind of like a slightly above average than some of these other guys in the running back dead zone. But compared to the rest of the league, they're a little like I'd say just on par with average, a little bit above average. Like Kenneth Walker has some upside, and as well as Joe Mixon with the Texans offense, they're going to be scoring a lot this year. Marvin Harrison was definitely a reach, but it's like hey man, if you want to get Marvin Harrison as as the first year, like go ahead. That's what I did with the Dunze. I think that's not a bad pick. He's gonna be a good player. Him paired up with
Yeah,
Devontae Smith and Tank Dell. I think that's
Tank
good.
Dell's awesome.
I
Yeah,
think that's good. He has good wide receivers. And if like just the flex, he has the strongest flex because he could flex Tank Dell, he could flex Brian Robinson,
Honestly. Or Tony
Deontay
Pollard.
Johnson, Joshua Pollard, like anyone. That could be helpful or that could be hurtful. Like depends on who he chooses, and hopefully he doesn't choose incorrectly. Joe Burrow, he's kind of like middle of the pack quarterback too, but at the same time, he has the upside. Joe Shiesty, Slim Shiesty this year, he might go crazy. Yeah, he's ranked as the kind of middle of the pack, but he could be, he could perform better. So the only thing I didn't like was Trevor Lawrence. He doubled up on him, quarterback. One because he took away from my pool, but two
Yeah.
because he doesn't need it. He got Joe Burrow, and I'm glad.
Yeah,
And I think
exactly.
he ended up dropping him, but as far as the draft grade goes, I say above average. Um, and then the next one is Hector. Hector has Anthony Richardson as his quarterback, leading the team. He kept them, so that was a good keeper. One of the good
Yep.
keepers. He had two
Yep.
keepers. This is a good one. His running backs also kind of middle of the pack. Although Josh Jacobs, I do believe in him a lot. I actually was targeting him this year. I do believe in him. That offense is going to be pretty good. Fortunately, it's Green Bay, but it's going to be a good offense.
Yeah. It is.
Rashad White, he's expected to get a lot of volume. I do like that. Justin Jefferson and Michael Pittman. I like Justin Jefferson. Obviously, he's just one of the best wide receivers in the league. His situation is kind of iffy. Nobody really knows. Like Sam Darnold's one of the most
Sam,
inaccurate quarterbacks, so who knows
exactly.
how it's going to go for him. Michael Pittman, I also don't know. It's a good stack for Anthony Richardson. So if they're going to be popping off, they're going to be popping off. But if he's not, if they're going to run the ball more, he might get phased out of the office. Not like completely, but just as far as
It's not
expectation
gonna
goes.
yeah, he's not gonna see the targets like he used to.
For sure. And Evan Engram, I feel kind of indifferent of him. He's kind of like in the middle of the pack, I would say. He's good. He's still at the tier where like you want to get points from a tight end. But just last year, I would say a lot of the stats came from when Christian hurt his balls. Whenever that was that injury he had, Christian Kirk, he was out, and then Evan Graham like he just took all the targets. So this year, I don't know how it's gonna go with the rookie. It's kind of like an unknown. So I wouldn't put too much hype behind him, but it's a decent pick still. Other than that, I still have him as kind of like a lower tier team, only because his bench is kind of like whack in my opinion. Christian Watson, I do love. That's like it kind of ends there. Zach Moss is expected to lose touches to Chase Brown, and
Right.
I don't know. He's just old. I don't think his offense, the type of offense that they run in Indianapolis, is not the same that they run in Cincinnati. So I'm not a believer in Zach Moss, but that's why these are my rankings, right? Tyler Lockett, Raheed Shaheed, Josh Downs. I think these guys are not. You're not gonna play these guys, not over the ones he has. So these guys,
Not only
I
that, but Josh Downs being also from the
yeah,
Colts, and
Michael Pittman,
he
right?
already
Don't
has
forget
Michael Pittman. Yeah. So
that took down some points, and just the fact is you're basically and Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is not bad, but the fact that you have Anthony Richardson, so those four, you got four people on your bench. You're not gonna use. You could have did better with that. Your team is not that bad, but the whole team in general, combined with the bench, it's one of the worst ones that I graded at least. The next
yeah.
one is Tyler. Tyler's team was pretty good. I would say it's in the top half for sure. Probably closer to the top three. Um, we're gonna get into the rankings after this, but Dak Prescott, he's kind of like I tier him next to Joe Burrow, kind of like he's the guy that can get you a lot of points if he's performing well. He has to throw a lot and get a lot of
Yep.
touchdowns. you don't know if it's gonna happen. You're hoping it does, but that's why they're tiered lower than the guys that run that have like hyper offenses. He's okay. I think that's the weaker part of his team. But if you look at the rest of his team, bro is stonked up. Like Saquon Barkley and
Yeah,
Kyron Williams as your RB1, RB2. That's crazy. And then Nico
yeah, it
Collins and
is.
Jayden Waddle as your wide receivers as well as Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper has a really good schedule. I believe in him a lot this year. Waddle, obviously, he's in the Dolphins, and Nico Collins, they're both high octane offenses. And obviously, he has the cherry, the biggest cherry of them all, the only cherry. Sam Laporta is
Yeah,
he's one of the most sought out tight ends this year because the way he performed last year. I don't necessarily believe he's going to perform exactly how he did last year. I think the offense is going to be more like split around and stuff. But you can't hate on Sam Laporta. He's young. He's a super athletic. He's just a good tight end. And so that's his starters are like one of the best ones in the league. He has still Christian Kirk on the bench, Keenan Allen. I value Christian Kirk over Keenan Allen still because I don't know how the Bears off like you mentioned, like I don't know how the Bears offense is necessarily going to operate,
right.
but it is a decent bench stash, as well as Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks kind of slept on, and the Dallas offense is if the Dallas offense is what it's supposed to be, like that's kind of like a nice stack on good matchups, like Dak Prescott plus Brandon Cooks. Brock
Yeah,
Bowers is the only one that I don't know, like kind of don't know, like
he stole that from me.
maybe he's just playing keep away, or maybe he just like wants that
he,
rookie.
I
He
think,
wants the
I
rookie
think
juice.
from what I remember, he did say that. He's like, "Oh, I just didn't want you to have him." I'm like,
That's like
"Thanks."
he wants the rookie juice, and I don't feel too strongly about Devin Singletary as well as Austin Eckler, especially on his team because I don't see them starting over the other guys, but they are decent players to stash for trade purposes or bye weeks, So
Right.
he's graded pretty nicely. The next person is Ryan. Ryan also has maybe because they've been mock drafting together because they're roommates, but they have pretty good teams. Lamar Jackson is his quarterback. He's one of the guys that got like a high, well, in my opinion, a high level quarterback and a high level tight end. Like George Kittle is not ranked top, but George Kittle he just went for 1,000 yards last season. This
Yeah.
offense is like per Vegas is going to be the highest scoring offense in NFL. Like, bro, like I don't see why people are really sleeping on George Kittle. Like, yeah, he does get injured, right? But every time he plays, he's top he's tight end one every time he plays like a healthy game. So I think he's one of the only teams, and including Freddie. Freddie and him are probably one of the few teams that have both a high quarterback and high tight end. On top of that, he does have Amara St. Brown, which is like juicy as hell. Like this year,
Oh,
he's gonna
good.
be so good. Puka Nakua and Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin's back in the slot this year, and I think he's gonna kill it for him. I think that's just a solid team. Alvin Kamara and Travis Etienne, his running backs, I would say they're kind of middle of the pack compared to people's, because this year people got stomped RBs. Like Tito got Christian and Devin Achan. You got Brees Hall and Isaiah Pacheco. I got Jameer Gibbs and Jonathan Taylor. Like some of us are stonked up. So Travis Etienne and Alvin Kamara would look juicy, but like compared to some of us, it's like he's kind of like not all the way up there, but his team's still really good. The next guy I want to talk. Oh, actually, I forgot about his bench. But Chase Brown is a really good stash. I love Chase Brown. The only thing I was kind of iffy about was Chuba Hubbard, right? Because follow me here, like Chuba Hubbard, he's expected to play in the beginning of the season,
Right.
and the rookie, what's his name, Brooks.
Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah, he's expected to like at least that's what they say. Like he's to get some work later in the season, maybe come up, maybe take the job from him. And if you follow that logic, like you're not gonna play Chuba Hubbard in the beginning of the season. Like his guys, both of his running backs have a bye week 12. So you're not gonna, and then Chris Godwin's bye week is what bye week 11. So like you're not gonna play him in the flex. You're not gonna play him over a running back.
Right.
So you just have him there just to keep away from people. I mean that's okay, but maybe you could have gone with somebody else. I don't remember the draft order, but there was somebody that you could have picked up instead of Chuba. Leave some for us, leave something for some people that need running backs, like maybe for Stacy or
Exactly.
something. Yeah, and the other thing, Troy Franklin, bro. I'm gonna be completely Franklin. I don't know who the hell that is. I don't know who you
I
think it is.
gotta remember who that is.
I
Let's
don't know
see.
who that is. I know the lad, but I don't know Troy Franklin. I think he's gonna drop him. I don't know who that is. Anyway, so and then Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, how like like Rico said, how many weeks before he drops Herbert, right? Because he's just like stashing him up there. Like you got Lamar Jackson,
I,
bro. You know you can run, right? You know you can run them in. Yeah, that's the only
I
thing.
think
But
I think he just did that for love.
for her love, just because it's the last round, right?
Yeah,
Uh, and like yeah, so as soon as he sees something, he's gonna drop him for something. But I mean, that just adds to the grade though. Like you could have got something else. But on top of that, other than that, I mean, he has a really good team. And the next one is Martin. Martin, I really wanted to give him a good grade, but every time I looked at his team, I was like, brother, no. I was like,
yeah,
no, like Patrick Mahomes is good, right? He's graded highly, but people know I really like Patrick Mahomes like that, but he's gonna get you points, right? He got Derrick Henry. This is what I do like the core: Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Brandon Ayuk.
Brown. Yeah,
That's like a four-man core right there. Other than that, it's like then he got Jerome Ford, Kyle Pitts, Xavier Worthy's on his flex, bro. Like I think you have the worst flex, if I'm not mistaken, other than John. John has Jaden Reed. Like in my opinion, the worst flex. Yeah, he could be boom or bust, like Xavier Worthy. That's what we're expecting if he's a good player, right?
right.
Other than that, you're kind of banking on him to be good, right? Because your other players are Jason, Jameson Williams, and Dontavian Wicks. Also, kind of like dart throws, right? They're not like
Yeah,
solidified people. They're not solidified wide receivers. I mean, they could be good. I'm not saying you can't do good this season. It's just compared to like the rest of the teams that have like bona fide wide receivers or someone who's just been proven. These guys are all kind of like you're just taking dart throws, and if it works out, it works out. But as of now, I don't think he's probably one of the lower teams that I ranked. Also
yeah,
because of the Nick Chubb and Jerome Ford. Even though that's like a South strat, like I do that in PPR all the time, right? But it is kind of minus EV, like expected value. Like you have Jerome Ford, right? And if Nick Chubb comes back, it's like okay, cool, I guess. But now Jerome Ford's value is kind of like, it's like you're using up a bench stash. Yeah, he's gonna be in IR right now, but when he comes back, it's gonna maybe cause problems during bye week. So it shouldn't be that badly graded, but I think it does take away from an opportunity, right? And Zach Charbonnet, I don't really care for him. I don't think that. I think it just they prefer Walker over there. That's my impression from the research I've done. And Justice Hill, I think he dropped Justice Hill to keep it a bug. I don't think you like Justice Hill. So
no.
yeah, Martin, Martin, I don't think you like that. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Dion now. Dion's team is closely to the middle. I would
Yeah,
say. I love the running backs. Brees Hall, Isaiah Pacheco is gonna be juice all year. Drake London though in the second round, and hey, I can't say nothing, right? It's just not like he has proven himself, but it's like, hey, it's kind of very tempting with Kirk Cousins, and it's like, bro, if Kirk Cousins is anything like I remember him, like he would lock down to his wide receiver, right? And they don't have the coach. I forget his name right now. The old coach to hold them back, right?
Arthur Smith.
Um, it's like what's his name? Sorry,
Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith. Like I watch Arthur,
Yeah,
but not Arthur
he's
Smith.
he's
But
he's the new Pittsburgh's OC coach. So
yeah, I
that's why I
tried.
made the comment.
I tried the Drake because like I don't like that shit. Oh yeah, Drake London. Drake. I'm just gonna keep memeing Drake London until he does good and then he makes me shut up.
Yeah,
DK Metcalf and Neighbors. I like that. I like those picks. I like your wide receivers in general. Kyler Murray, like I said about like Joe Burrow and Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray's a little bit higher than them, but I do see him as kind of like a middle of the pack guy until he proves it that he's not. Like he has the potential to be up there, but will he be up there? That's the question. And Pat Fryermuth, I never liked him, bro. I don't know. I'm not talking. I'm not even trying to throw shit. Like I
no,
don't know. This is like a low end tight end, right? Like, you're just hoping he does something. I do love the TJ Hawkinson stash, and I actually forgot I was gonna pick him up at the end, at the last round, and I just got hyped over the kicker. But I do like that because then you can stash him, keep him on your IR, and then when he comes back, he could be pretty good for you. But Pat Fryermuth, in the meantime, I think it kind of slows your team down. I do like also this is another thing I like Rico Dotto, Blake Corum, and Julio McLaughlin. Like you have good stashes. I feel like you have a nose for those type of running back stashes. Jerry Judy, this is the same critique I did to who was it? Hector. Jerry Judy and Roman Wilson, bro, you're not playing them. You're not gonna play them. You're just wasting slots. Like you just like placeholder. So that takes away from your total ranking, I think.
yeah.
And yeah, that wraps up the teams. I think now we could go over to try to rank them up. So
Fun part.
I guess we can start with who had the
Number
lowest
12.
ranking. Yeah, number 12. Who had the lowest ranking between me and you? Did you have one? My lowest
I
one is
did.
my lowest one is 10. So why don't you tell us who's the lowest ranked for you?
My lowest one ranked is DeCarlo.
Oh no.
Yeah. His team, like I said, the only thing I really liked about his team is Travis Kelsey and James Cook. If Jamar Chase didn't have that contract situation, he would have a pretty solid team. Um, other than that, his overall starters aren't really flashing to me. Stephon Diggs, like we already made the comment already,
Yeah.
he's a cancer of the team, diva on the field.
Yep.
Um, he has Jalen Warren, which yeah, he has potential. Then you got Trey Benson and Kamani Vidal,
Mhm.
which I'm assuming they're both rookies, and
Yeah.
he
You got the
has
rookie.
he has
You want the
plenty.
rookie just too.
Yeah, because all three of his wide receivers that he had drafted in his bench are all rookies. So it's like you kind of need a little bit of the veteran thing, just a little
Yeah.
bit. So yeah, that's why I ranked him at number 12.
Alrighty. And did you happen to get a number 11? I have my lowest one is 10. Did you rank
Yeah,
anybody?
number 11 is don't be mad at me, Stacy.
Don't be mad at me. You can be mad at him. You can be mad at him. But be mad at yourself.
Yeah. So
Why Stacy?
Stacy, um, like I ran over it again. Just the running backs and just overall bench. Um, Raheem Mostert, like I said, is amazing, but he also has the risk of getting hurt. Zamir White's in that offense with the Raiders. We don't know how that offense is going to go. It's actually going to score points like they
Yeah.
should be. Then you got backups. You got committee people, which is Tyler Algier and Tajay Spears,
Yeah.
um, or just going to be 1A or 1B.
Like
So,
they're not that bad, but they don't help her team immediately. So it's kind of like you know.
right.
And I think where she messed up actually, and this is going back to the draft. I saw the draft board. She had kept Mike Evans round 3, right? So then she goes CD, great pick. Great pick.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
just a
Amazing
great
pick.
pick.
Yeah.
But then she comes back around and gets Josh Allen. I'm not hating on Josh Allen at all. It's just like the roster construction, right? By the time she
Yeah.
came back around to the fourth round, like there was doo doo butter for running backs. There's like nothing really
Yeah.
left. So she kind of felt like she needed to reach for a guy, and she got Zamir White. And I think that's kind of like by the like it kind of started degrading her team a little bit. I mean, the
Yeah.
first 3 picks are decent, but it's just like had she gone like a running back there or gone like another wide receiver, then she could have something to carry her, I think, and then she could have gone like a quarterback a little bit later. But that was my opinion. Why I think I her draft kind of went south. But I do agree with you. She's one of the lower ones. You have
Yeah.
10 by any chance, like a 10 rank guy?
I sure do. My number
Okay.
10 is Martin.
Oh, me too. I have. Yeah, he's from my guys. I ranked him 10, as well. So I guess I'll talk about that. Well, I
Yeah.
did talk about that, right? It's just kind of like his team seems lackluster to me as far as bench goes and as far as upside goes. I think like best players being Derrick Henry is, I mean, that's good, right? But it's like the upside is the touchdowns for him, but like the secondary type of players like Jerome Ford and Xavier Worthy, I think those guys are not gonna be above like the twos, like like RB2 or wide receiver 3 in his case probably. So I don't think they have that type of upside where gonna break the ADP. As far as like everybody else, like Tito has 18, people like that that could actually go further. Tyron Williams for Tyler. It's like it's kind of hard to compete with that. Given and
Right.
I like Jerome Ford, bro. Like he's gonna have the opportunity, but it's kind of like an uphill battle. And having the type of bench that he has, um, it just makes it a little harder. I was gonna say uphill battle because Justice Hill, but that's corny, bro. Yeah. So does anybody have 9? Anybody rank 9? I ranked somebody 9.
9. Let's see. I got at my 9 spot, I got Manny.
Oh, okay. I ranked Hector 9.
Hector. All right.
Yeah. So let's go. Which one? I guess we could discuss which one we think is worse. That way they could get the ninth spot. Um, is there? So you ranked Hector higher than many?
Yes, I did. Yeah, but only by one spot. So
Oh,
Hector's
okay. So
actually
they're
at
right
number
there.
8.
Oh, okay. So they're really close. Yeah, I would say Hector deserves the ninth spot rather than Manny because
Okay.
of what I mentioned about like Manny's depth. Not only will his depth help him for like flexes and bye weeks, but Manny trades a lot too. So I feel like he could upgrade his team like when like, as whoever he could finesse, he could upgrade his team pretty nicely. Hector, like his depth, he has no depth at running back really. Josh Jacobs and Rashad White, and then his next one is Zach Moss. Like if Zach Moss gets overtaken or one of his first guys get hurt, like his immediate value over replacement at running back position is very like it doesn't exist really. That's why I would rank him lower. I feel like Manny could
Yeah,
still
that
not
that does make
more.
sense with the whole bench spot, and then I'm not really a big of a fan of like having too many players from the same team because it limits you what you're capable of. You know, of being able to like your output is just limited because you don't get, let's say Michael Pittman has the off week and Josh Downs is in his bench, kind
Yes.
of limits you. So yeah,
Hmm.
I understand now. Then yeah, I
All right.
agree. Then
Okay.
I'll move down Hector to 9.
Sounds Gucci. So I guess we could kind of both say that Manny's up next, right? And we could talk about that, like saying what you said, basically about the same team. Manny has that problem too. It's just that his players are kind of better.
Yeah,
Joe Mixon and Tank Dell. Then you got Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride, right? So it's kind
right.
of like, how many points are these teams actually scoring? Presumably a lot for Houston, Arizona. I don't know, to be honest. Not as much as
Yeah,
Houston, but if you have to share those touchdown share, like it's gonna not be the best. You're gonna have some up weeks where they just outscore, like they score against teams they're bad. But if they're facing a good team or good defense, I feel like it could be a bad week for Manny. So
right.
that, in my opinion, that he is deserving of your ranking number 8. Um, who do you have anybody that's 7 or yeah? Do you have
I
anybody
got
that's 7?
number 7 is Rigo.
My number 7 is actually you. Let me. Did I rank Regal higher? Let me see. Oh, they're really close. They're really close. Did you have somebody that's Let's see.
So so 7 is Rigo. Then at number 6 I got myself.
Oh, okay. I had I actually had 8 for Rigo, but you could had Manny at 6 and then you at 7. So we
Okay,
placed Manny already at 8.
at 8.
So I guess the
Yeah.
next one's the 7 and 6. So 7 and 6, Rigo and you. I did have Rigo as worse. So actually, I would place
Okay.
Rigo at 7. You had Rigo 7, right?
Yeah, I have Rigo at 7.
Oh, okay, then I would
Yeah, and
agree.
he's got the same situation too. Like he's got a lot of Bears players, and unless the Bears are amazing this season, then
They will be.
we'll
Super Bowl,
change this
baby.
ranking. but
Super Bowl. I know at least the
that,
losing is
like I
going to be
said,
fine.
but like it limits his output. So if he
Yeah.
had more flexibility outside of other teams, then yeah, then I'll give him a
Bro,
higher ranking.
such a homer, right? He even got David Montgomery. Like he's not a bear anymore, bro. Let go.
Right, exactly. Living in the past.
Yeah. So then that following that is you at 6. You like that
Yep,
ranking?
I do like that ranking. That's what I gave myself. I'm not being a little,
Yeah, I was trying to hype myself up to give myself a good ranking, but I was just trying to be non-biased. And I was like, hey, it's still not that bad to be honest. I see
yeah,
the like my thing is like I see the limit or the ceiling. So I'm hoping for the
right.
ceiling. But if we're ranking as of it is now, then yeah, I think we deserve that. So you had 6. You're at 6.
Yep,
Uh,
I put myself a 6 there.
any comments about your own team? Like I did the breakdown for your team, but do you have any comments about your own team?
Yes, I understand the flack with Drake London, but that's just me going for like a potential upside.
Yeah.
With Kirk Cousins being there. Um, And then my tight ends. Yes, I played the late game and then got screwed over because I really wanted Brock Bowers.
Hmm. You just forbid him.
And
I heard he's up for trades.
no, I'll wait until he drops them.
Yeah, yeah. Play the pressure game, bro.
Yeah, there you go. And then yeah, I agree with Jerry Judy and Roman Wilson. Jerry Judy's just there because maybe I don't know. We'll see what happens with him and Deshaun Watson. And then
Yeah.
Roman Wilson was just a homer pick
What's that wide receiver from Carolina? He's an old school. Like, I didn't watch football back then, but he's like ice up, son. He was like a short guy.
from Carolina.
I know it's kind
Steve
of
Smith.
random. Yeah, he called Jerry Judy a jag because
Oh
he's
yeah,
just like
Yeah, Jag. Yeah, just a
he's just
guy.
a guy. He's just a
Yeah.
guy in your bench, bro.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
So let's go forward. Do we have a number six? Did you rank anybody six? I ranked
Yeah, that was me.
what?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that was you, der. We're going
yeah.
to five now. Number
Number
five.
5 is my boy Sal.
I ranked myself five too. All right, why five? Huh?
Like I said, your running backs, amazing. I love your tight end, Mark Andrews. Quarterback, I understand you played the late game and stuff, but I'm not too enthusiastic because you have two of them for one.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's going to happen with. When are you going to decide to play Brock Purdy? You know. Um,
Um, for me, week five. I'm gonna try to
we,
hold on to him, but if something comes up, I could just drop him. But my
gotcha.
train of thought is Jared Goff, like Detroit's per Vegas gonna be like the second highest scoring offense. So that's Jared
Right.
Goff. And he has a good schedule, and he has 14 games in the dome. It has to have like a lot of things that work for him, and he's still Jared Goff. He's not like one of the top ones, but he does have a lot going for him. And so like I'm just kind of hoping he's like a top 10 option, top 8 option at the beginning. Like I'm not gonna like play him the whole year. I'm just maybe somebody comes up or maybe somebody gets dropped. Yeah, that's my
David
kind of thought
Daniels.
process. But I agree with you, like Jameer Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, and Mark Andrews. I'm looking for them to kind of like lead my team, drag my team out the mud, and hopefully Devontae Adams and Pickens and really and even Odunze and Javante. Like I hope they can just kind of go and hop in the flex and see what weeks I could play him, what weeks I can't play him, or whatever, and hopefully edge out some wins and try to get to playoffs. Like my team, I saw my schedule for playoffs. Like I always do this. I know it's like preemptively, but Jonathan Taylor, and Jameer Gibbs have like juicy playoff schedules. So those are the guys
Okay.
I'm relying on. But I know myself. Like I'm not gonna fool myself. Like I do have four teams that are ahead of me just off the rip of like just talent and just skill. But there's always people that flop, so there's always chances, for us to creep up.
Yep,
So
definitely.
the next one is number four. Did you have anybody ranked four?
Number 4 is Ryan.
Okay, nice. I have Ryan as fourth as well. I think we're gonna kind of lead up to the same ones, but Ryan number four. I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree
Ryan's
with.
got some extremely good wide receivers. In let's see, where's his team? Amon St. Brown and Puka Nakua.
Do you have
Puka
anybody?
Nakua.
I was gonna say, do you have anybody number three, just so we could kind of compare and contrast instead of just like reviewing his team again?
Yeah, yeah. Number 3, I got at got Tyler.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I think the rest of our rankings are pretty set. So Tyler and Ryan. So what do you think differentiates their team? Like why Tyler is better than Ryan, or why Ryan is worse than Tyler?
Oh, let's take a look. So we got Tyler. So I think I just like his wide receiver Ryan's wide receivers a little bit more than what Tyler has because yeah, Nico Collins is amazing, but you also got Jalen Waddle who just happens to be just catching the injury bug every once in a while.
You want
I
him to
mean,
catch balls, right? Not the injury bug.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And then
I
Amari Cooper's getting up there in age, so we don't know how well that's going to go.
he
But
got
I
that
do like
the running back duel.
yeah, the running backs for Tyler just dwarf what Ryan has.
Yeah, and the Sam
And then,
Laporta.
yeah, Sam Laporta is ranked way higher than George Kittle.
I think
And I don't think he's going to be as lost in the offense as George Kittle is because George Kittle is an offense that's just muddled with like people to feed.
Hmm. Even though that Sam Laporta would arguably be as well, they have kind of like more of a role, for each other in that team, like Jameer Gibbs and Monty, and then they have Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta, and then for San Francisco they have like one more, right? They have like Ayuk,
Yeah,
Debo, they have running back,
I feel
and then they
like
have Kittle.
Sam Laporta's like the number two, like in
Like yeah,
targets.
yeah, yeah, like he's actually the
Where
guy.
whereas in George Kittle's case, he might be the like number four because you
Yeah.
got like Christian McCaffrey, Debo, and Ayuk in front of him. So
Hmm. Yeah. So overall, I think Tyler and Ryan are really close. It's just like
yeah,
one of them has to be three, and one of them has to be four.
right.
Unfortunately, so I get. Do you stay with Ryan at four and Tyler at three, or you want to swap them?
No, I'll stay with what they're at.
All right. So then we got two left. We got Freddie and Tito. Did you have Tito at one or Freddie at one?
I had Freddie at one.
Ooh, Freddie at one. Nice. I
Yes.
almost could have sworn you had Tito at one. I have actually Freddie at one too. I want to hear. Should want me to talk about that, or you want to talk about Freddie at one?
Let's
Or do
talk
we,
about Tito.
let's talk about Tito at two. Okay.
Yeah.
Tito has a apparently he looks like a broken team to me. Every time we did mocks, it's like, damn, bro, like he's up there. Like no matter who we pick, because he
Yeah.
always started with CMC and Devon A Chain, right? Not only that, like when it came to the corner, I was like, it hurt me, bro. He picked up Cup and Olave. I was like, that's just
yeah.
like that core was like, damn, bro, like we done for. Because then he already has CJ Stroud kept, so it's like, damn, like to have that juicy start. It's like, hey, I'm lucky I went. Who did I go? Oh my, I'm lucky I went Andrews in that one round. Imagine if you got Andrews on
It's
that
like
corner, they would have had like five starters that's like bangers.
yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah, he has a really good team. I think it just I guess we can talk about Freddie's too, or like why he edged him out. Pause. Why he's a little bit ahead of him? I think because they're also, in my opinion, they're like close, like Ryan and Tyler are. But they're, I think Freddie's upside is slightly higher based on just the team build. I think. Or
Yeah,
what's your opinion?
it, it's the tight ends that do it for me a little bit on Tito's side. Because for one, he has
Oh
two of
yeah,
them.
you're right. You're right.
Got David Njoku and Dallas Goddard. Um, and he wasn't too sure about the Njoku pick.
Hmm.
So he had a bit of hesitation there, and then a little bit of his bench as well. You got Aaron Jones, which is in an offense that's like so many questions about it.
Yeah,
And plus
and
he's pretty old.
he cuffed his RB3.
yeah, he pretty much cuffed his yeah. And then
So
Ezekiel Elliott's also another old timer. So
hey man, don't hate
yeah,
on Zeke. Don't hate on Zeke, bro. He's gonna eat. No,
yeah, we'll see what.
yeah. Oh, hey, says the Dowdle owner. I just realized.
yeah,
No, I own Dowdle too, so maybe I'm a hater too. Sorry for being biased. But no, I agree though. The tight ends like Dalton Kincaid, I feel like he's him Cade, right? Like Freddie had it right on the name. Like Dalton
yeah,
Kincaid is gonna be juicy. I'm not a Bills fan, right? Or nothing like that. But I do follow the Bills, like they're like Josh Allen, like that camp is looking juicy. Like I feel like he's gonna get a lot of targets, a lot of touchdown opportunities. Vegas has him for like being a high scoring offense for like what they are. Like people are kind of sleeping on him, I think, on that offense. But
right.
Josh Allen is gonna be Josh Allen. And then I think also Jalen Hurts just kind of like another tier. Like I mean, clearly another tier over CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud has to get a lot. He's kind of like Burrow and Dak, where they have to do a lot to
Yeah,
get the return on value. Not the return on value as if he would have drafted him, right? Like first team. Like obviously Tito got really good value on him. But as far as just like weighing which teams are better, I would say what knocks Freddie's team down is the Ramondre Stevenson. Like it's kind of unsure. Like he could be really good. He could be very mid. They're in a very bad
yeah, but
team. They're
it wasn't
expected to
also
not
a
score.
it wasn't a bad pick at where he got him at as well. With Ramondre, that's probably why I put him at number one and stuff. Because overall,
Yeah.
like all his starters were at a value. So
Yeah. And on top of that, I would say even the Ramondre pick is like he's kind of like a filler. I see his team is kind of
yeah,
like if you look at his bench, he got like four dudes now five after the waiver wire, but um so he got like like he's ready, locked and loaded, right? So I'll basically his job in the season is to fill that RB2 spot with someone
Yeah,
that's
pretty much.
better than Ramondre, or Ramondre could just actually be kind of decent. Then he's kind of set. Whereas Tito, I feel like the spots, like tight end spot, it's harder to find a tight end. If he does, that's great. And the CJ Stroud, like I said, he has to be him, right? He has to perform. But
Yeah. Plus,
being a devil's advocate, like Christian McCaffrey and Devon A Chain could kind of like make up for that, you know? So it's kind of like just what you prefer. I think Freddie and Tito are really close, but I do like Freddie's team the best, I would say. Just how it's
yeah, I
built
agree.
and what it needs to like be a championship team. I think it just needs a little bit. So I
Plus, and
do.
just to throw a little bit salt on the wound and stuff, Freddie was just sniping Tito throughout the whole draft.
Oh man,
So it's
I
like kudos
missed
to
it.
you, Freddie. It
I
really
missed
was
it. I was
amazing.
concentrated.
Every turn, like Tito would expect his player to drop, and Freddie would just be right there to pick him up. So
Wait,
sorry, Tito.
1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, no, never mind. I was trying to see that, but this is not the draft order. Was he?
Yeah,
Did Freddie get T Higgins before Tito?
I believe
Like,
so.
was it on the like a second?
Like
I mean, even round? Because
I believe.
yeah, 'cause I thought it was pretty funny because I was like, I told Tito, I was like, damn, I thought you were gonna get T Higgins like for the fourth or third time because he had already. I
Yeah,
really like T Higgins this year. I was like, dude, that's good. That's juicy. That was actually the round that I got Mark Andrews in. I was like, dude, it's either like I send them Mark Andrews or not Freddie because Freddie already has a tight end, but
yeah.
like Rigo and Stacy, it was like either I give up Mark Andrews to them or Tito, or I give them T Higgins. And I was like, I think I could do without T Higgins. Yeah, that was my call, but hopefully it works out. But yeah, and people were doing a lot of sniping. Hector was sniping me, man. I was like, freaking, he sniped me on Josh Jacobs, and also he sniped me on where's his other team? Christian Watson. I really wanted Christian Watson this year.
Yeah, I actually wanted Christian Watson as well.
Yep, yep, guys. So this is like we have that's the our top 12, and so we ranked those guys. And I another thing that we want to talk about was the waiver wire. Do you happen to have the
I sure do. Let me bring
wire
that up
still?
real quick. We'll take a look at what we got going on right here. So, do we want to talk about the ones that people spend some money on?
Yeah, the money ones, the big money, moolah.
All right, so we do have Freddie spending $5 dollars on Audric Estimate from Denver.
Corny as hell. Just kidding.
Yeah, running back from Denver. Then we got we got our boy Sal right here dropping his right end kicker
Oh yeah,
for Keaton Mitchell.
yeah, bro.
I'm assuming you put him on the IR, right?
Yeah, just a little bench stash. I feel like nobody's gonna pick
Yeah,
up my kicker, so I was like, might as well try it. And I put $2 because
yeah.
on my other league, Tito paid $1 for something. And I was like, let me just in case somebody tried to pay $1. Yeah, I kind of have to go now. Like this time, actually, for real. So maybe you want
Okay.
to just wrap it up. Do you have anybody else? Maybe like a 30-second thing.
Yeah, nothing of note. Just I guess Martin picking up Samaje Perine
Oh, that's kind of good.
as a yeah as a maybe just a McKinnon hold,
I
and
should be
then
hating.
who's GI Joe? I don't know what team that is.
That's
They picked
Manny.
up Luke McCaffrey, which is
That's Manny. That's
I
his.
actually do like that pickup.
That's his puka, bro. If he drops him, pick him up.
Yeah, right.
All right,
Yeah,
guys.
that's pretty much that's
I
pretty
think
much all we got.
we're gonna sign out for this one. So
Yep.
peace out, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully next week is gonna be juicier and better. This is our first time, so we might have been a little nervous or whatever. It took us a little while to set
Yeah,
up. Take it
definitely.
easy, guys. Have a good week. Happy Thursday and good luck.
Yeah, good luck this week, guys.